we're filming.
We're doing a podcast.
We're filming.
Welcome back to episode 3 of the Harry and Gary podcast, where we talk about the music industry and our experience within it. I'm Gary Cunningham.
And I'm Harry.
That's
Cash.
Harry Cash. And today we've got quite a few serious topics to discuss, haven't we, Harry?
Yeah.
We're gonna, as we go through, the topics are gonna get progressively more disturbing.
Oh no.
But it's good. It's good for people to know these things because you never.
It's a good type of disturbing.
Sort of. But anyway, rather than just tease you with what we're going to talk about, let's talk about it.
Further.
So, obviously, last episode we talked about COVID briefly, and the effect it had on the music industry. The biggest thing was lockdown, and I do believe lots of things started happening during the lockdown period. What happened?
Yeah, I mean, this is funny discussing this because I'm almost like transparent and completely a ghost on Twitter these days. But back then in 2020 and especially 2019, I was very, very present on Twitter. And one thing that I noticed during the lockdown period were, yes, there were a lot of people becoming more creative.
Yeah.
But there were a hell of what people call boy bands. Now, first of all, let's just debunk that term because
here we go.
You're not a band if you don't all play instruments.
Exactly.
Or at least some of you, or at least like a third of the band.
Exactly.
Don't play instruments. If you're a group of boys who sing,
You're a boy group.
not a boy band.
Very
Thank
different.
you.
Same thing
Right.
for girls, by the way.
Right. Now it's done. Let's start. All right. So
Yeah.
these boy groups were appearing out of nowhere on Twitter.
Yes.
Right. And this is almost like an open question, really, to the public because I've never really understood it. But they would immediately get following, immediately get a lot of attention, and these stands, and people latching onto their personalities and wanting to find out more about Rick and Ryan and James and the group and stuff.
Yeah.
Without even hearing any music.
Yeah.
Or
Literally.
anything remotely to do with talent.
Yeah.
All right. And it got to a point where things are getting ridiculous when even the naive people are also going, hold on, who's this? Who the fuck is this next one? And some of them were called. One of them was called Lockdown. Remember?
Yes.
One of
Yes.
called
And that,
Lockdown.
I actually remember that sending you over the edge. You were so done
Oh.
when that came up.
Yeah.
I just remember getting a phone call going, never guess what, Gary? Another one's come up and they're called fucking Lockdown. I mean, funnily enough, did any of these bands, they could have done, but did any of these boy groups do anything significant in that time? Or did they just create accounts and then fuck
No,
off?
and they've all stopped. There's one person, I think you'll recognise the song. It's kind of old-fashioned TikTok song.
Yeah.
That's actually one of the guys.
Is it?
Yeah, James Earl something.
Oh, right, okay.
He's actually done alright for himself, fair play. But everyone else, no, non-existence. But yeah, I couldn't understand this fascination, still don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, moving on to it. I remember like at one point I tweeted something because they said, a few people had said, a few of these boy groups who had ended actually, not just them, but a few boy groups who had ended over the lockdown period. And said we'd lost out on so much money and all this stuff, and management had taken everything.
Yeah.
And I'm just sat here thinking, no, you're just being naive.
Yeah.
Before you start or before you enter into a contract with a record label, you should always understand.
Read it.
Yeah, read it.
Details.
You should understand what's going on.
Yeah.
How much control you have.
Yeah, it's like because Taylor Swift, she didn't read her contract. Look what happened.
I know.
You know
Now
what I
he's making a movie out of it and all sorts.
No, is she?
Yeah.
We should go and watch it.
I know. But anyway, I wrote a few things, and this was actually after the road trip stuff.
Right.
If you know who Road Trip are, we'll come on to that.
We'll come back to that. Yeah.
This was after that kicked off.
Right. Okay.
And I had to explain myself,
Yes.
and actually people started to understand a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's actually as well. That was another point when afterwards people said, "Well, who are you?" I said, "Well, actually, I was asked to be in one of these boy groups."
Yes.
And I said no years ago, before they even had like 4 members.
Yeah. I actually encouraged you to join them, didn't I?
Yeah. Right, so road trip then. You encouraged me to join them.
Right, so one day, Harry's, I think you texted me or you called me, whatever, and said, look, Gary, I've been offered this opportunity to join this boy group called Road Trip. Do you think I should do it? And I said to him, look, at the end of the day, it's about what you can do to further your career. And with the age that we are, I think it's important that you take any opportunity you can get. You didn't take my advice, which I think you're actually quite grateful for, aren't you?
I am, and that's one of the things I tweeted. Because one of these stupid, I had to say it, but sorry, one of these naive and stupid fans tweeted saying, "What have you done?" Well, I said, "Well, in the time that Road Trip have been together ended, and now I've got no money. I've been to college, got a diploma, got a degree, got several grades, got over 20 students. Become a private tutor, and now teaching full time at a school, teaching music, earning money from music. Are they earning money from music? No. So who's better off? Myself. All right." But that was obvious.
Yeah.
Anyone with musical talent is going to go further than someone who doesn't try hard.
And people who actually read their contracts and know what they're doing.
But it's exploiting it, and it's like, here's a fun opportunity, join it. And I was there when the first few members were there, Andy Fowler and what's the other name? Rye Beaumont, whatever his surname is. His natural name's Ryan. Right. And when Harvey was first starting out, I remember Blair's their manager, but we're going to drop the name there. I've personally got him blocked and everything.
Should we bleep it? Or do you want to...
No, we don't need to beat...
To be fair, they'll know who Road Trip
We don't need to beat Blair. Yeah, if you were around and you were if you were a teenage girl around the years of 2018, 2019, you'll know probably who Road Trip were.
Who Road Trip were,
if you're in the UK.
Yeah.
But their manager Blair, who got a load of backlash on Twitter once, so that's also who might know his name. He used to contact me like every other year around 2014 when Harvey was coming around, Harvey Cantwell. Yeah. And
not to be confused with Harvey from Max and Harvey, by the way, completely different.
No, Harvey Cantwell, who sings, who sung, spelt Harvey without an A. Hervey. And what's that song he sings? I can't remember. Anyway, can't be that good. Can't remember it. But yeah, he used to contact me saying, "Oh, do you want to try and be the next Justin Bieber and wear shabam?" And I went to an interview, an audition once for a boy group that were coming up. I remember called MAD or MAD or something. Right. That was interesting. That was at Sadler's Wells Theatre in college, whatever it's called in London. But at one point he said, "Oh, your best bet is joining this boy group." Right. And just before that, I'd actually been discovered by someone from Sony Sweden, Alex Huntington. Yes. And started writing with her as a songwriter. Something more credible than being in a boy group where songs are written for you. And I was really excited about this opportunity. And actually Alex, who didn't get as much opportunity to perform live because she was always songwriting, thought, I want to try going back a step in terms of this exposure we were talking about in the other episode about busking. And she was like, I want to try busking. She's like, I want to try busking.
That's how it sounds.
With her accent.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, sure. And honestly, the dynamic was a bit strange. Suppose she almost looked like she could be my mum or something.
Yeah.
But we were playing in Leicester Square, and Harvey Cantwell walks in, Blair's walking there. Right. Andy Fowler. Did I tell you this?
I think so. I think you might have.
And Samantha Harvey. I'm going to name drop again. Samantha Harvey. Her first ever gig, blonde chick who sings. Her first ever gig. She used our PA. Yes. I remember thinking, you've only your first step in your career was thanks to me and my dad's PA.
So you can take full credit for Samantha Harvey's success. Yeah.
Anyway, moving on to this day where we bumped into them, and I'd never seen something so erratic before between two people supposedly higher up in the industry.
Oh, yes.
She's talking about Sony and he's talking about Warner and Universal and their influence in music.
What's your background? What do you do?
And he's actually talking about the opportunity a little bit, not vaguely in front of me. Talks to me to the side about it, talks to me and my dad. And then I spoke to Alex afterwards and she was actually kind of a bit more well, be careful. These things are fun, but be careful of people who might want to take advantage of you and stuff like that. And that's probably when I messaged you, I think.
Yeah.
I was definitely in between stage.
Definitely.
My original band hadn't started yet. We were writing music. We hadn't started yet. We hadn't branded ourselves. But I'd started to make little bits of money from things that aren't just, like I said, gigs. They were like production and stuff like that. And I think that's why I kind of thought I could start this journey now and seeing what I can do in the industry, or I can start it from a different perspective where I'm just a quote unquote pop star.
Yeah.
And also, like people will always say when it comes to stuff like this, did I want to be one of 5?
Or did you just want to be yourself?
Yeah. And I would have just been one of 5 that way. And you know, and people in boy groups, they get popularity and they get this attention, but you still are one of 5. It's not you. It's not your music. You're not the centre of it. People will never know if it's truly just your music.
No, that is true.
But shouts out to Andy Fowler because he was lovely.
Right.
I don't see anything from him online these days. It's gone completely, what do you call it?
MIA.
Yeah, but I had his number and I texted him.
Right.
And he gave me his number. He said, text me if you want any advice about it. And I thought, is he going to give me legitimate advice?
Yeah.
When Blair's looking over him and he needs manager, is he going to be honest with me and tell me to stay away?
Yeah.
And he said, I still got the text somewhere. He said something like, it's not for everyone.
Right.
It can be tough.
Yeah.
Having to make content all the time and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's why I think when I messaged you, I can literally remember being in bed texting you about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the end I just didn't reply to Blair and stuck out. But then I remember texting him actually once to do with Jumpstone, trying to promote the single and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah. But no, during lockdown there was a bit of some people might remember this, where if you were ever on social media and you were following Road Trip, you'll remember the morning where 2 members apparently left the place they were living at.
Yes. Was I around yours?
I don't know, but they supposedly left. These 2 members of this boy group supposedly left the house they were living at.
Yes.
Took over the social media and wrote, we've been with this guy in the band wants to make it all about himself. It's been hell for months. Blah 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 blah.
No money.
No money. There's this falling out, and then eventually, I'm going to fast forward a bit, but eventually, they all came together again.
Yeah. Did they? I do not remember that.
Not to be together.
Oh, right.
But they came together to film a video.
Like a statement.
Like this, like a podcast.
Yeah.
Where they all just literally just chat out of shit.
Yeah.
About their ex-manager. Blair. And I mean, things have kind of ironed over now.
Yeah.
And he's still doing things. But, I mean, when there's been voice notes and stuff released of the tone of voice you're using,
how he behaves,
and how he behaves, you can't really excuse it. And as you can imagine, as from my point of view, that's when I was a bit more like, cool, I really dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
And I think people don't understand. That's why I came across the way I did on Twitter.
Yeah, because you knew how bad.
Because I dodged a bullet.
Yeah. And
I'm not. And by the way, I'm never saying that like I knew that was going to happen. I couldn't foresee that it was going to turn out bad.
You don't.
I couldn't foresee it was going to turn out bad. I'm just saying that I knew it wasn't for me, and then something happened to back that up.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and it was like proof.
You know, it could happen in any walk of life. But But then one morning.
There we go. Yes, I've been waiting for this.
One morning, when I put one of my tweets and it didn't do so well because they were getting a lot of attention, and someone didn't quite like what I said, and you know, like how groups of fans can gang up on someone, it doesn't meet their motive, doesn't follow their pattern of they're so great, they're goddess, and I was like, why did they not see they were going to lose money? And I started saying stuff like this. Why did they not see that they were in a trap or blah blah blah? And then I thought, right, well, if people really want to hate Blair, you know.
I don't know what you're gonna say. Go on.
I'm not gonna say it, but
you're not gonna say.
I'm not gonna say it. But what was ironic is fast forward a few weeks, and I start getting this phone call to the house, and I was out having food with my parents.
Yeah.
And my sister was still living at home at the time, and we got a phone call to our house phone, and we don't even have a house phone these days, which is crazy, right? But back then we just like last year of probably having a house phone.
Yeah.
No one ever still rang it back then. Bear in mind, this was like 2021 or something, or 2020 still.
Yeah.
And he apparently picks up the phone and goes, "Hi, is that the Cash household or something like that?"
Yeah.
Goes, I need to speak to Harry's parents, mother and father.
Right.
And it was on an unknown number. And she was like, And obviously, bless my sister, she was a bit like scared.
Yeah, of
A
course.
bit confused.
Yeah.
And then he went, oh, okay, I'll ring him back tomorrow.
Obviously told
I think he said
he was out.
I think, yeah, he said I'll ring back tomorrow.
Yeah.
And he didn't.
Right.
And then, obviously, I'm nervous. I'm thinking, what the hell was that about?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And your mind goes crazy, but, like, I couldn't think of anything.
Right.
And then I started to speculate a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, remember, I was saying,
yeah.
could there be something
Could
in
I
the
have done
public
this?
eye that
Yeah,
someone
that I
didn't
missed,
like?
sort of thing, yeah.
And then I almost thought, no way.
Mm.
No way could someone have actually of let's face it, someone I don't want to put him on a pedestal, someone of that stature or doing stuff in the industry.
Yeah. With that,
Dig you out,
yeah,
and then find your home mobile.
So God knows how he found it.
And then feel the need to contact you.
Yeah, and
And I remember saying to my dad at the time, I was like, well, no, speak to me.
yeah,
I'm an adult.
yeah. It's
Like, it's nothing
you.
to do with.
No.
But no, true and behold, he calls, and I remember I was in the garden.
Mm.
And I saw my mum at the back door, and I mouthed to her. I went, "Is it?" And she was like, "Yeah." And then and he was on the phone to my father, and he wasn't a happy man, but he never is. He never will be.
No.
But that's enough of that story, I think.
Yeah, but that was I had to get that in a podcast episode because that. Talking of dodging bullets. And this is a story that you didn't know until earlier when we went out for breakfast when we were planning this episode because we're nice and organised. And I said, right, I want to talk about something, but I want to pre-warn you a little bit first. And you went, oh, all right then. I don't know whether no one will know this actually, and I can't believe I'm going to say this publicly. But I was very nearly, almost, by a manager in the music industry.
Wow.
And if it wasn't for, and I'm going to name drop him because genuinely you probably saved me a lot of trauma and heartache. If it wasn't for Tony Roberts warning my dad about this bloke, God knows what would have happened. Right? He run this management company. I can't even remember what it was called now. I can't even remember his name. If I did, I'll just name drop. I don't care. I'll get fucking sued. I don't care. But he run this management, and I performed at one of Tony's open mics. And this bloke came up to me and started talking to me about, oh, I'm a manager, I do this, that, and the other. And obviously, I was really intrigued by this.
Yeah.
And he gave me his number and whatever else, and we were texting back and forth. And I told my dad, and then Tony went, oh, Pete, that's my dad. He went, Pete, can I have a word? And took my dad outside, and they were talking. And my dad said nothing of it. And then a few years later, a news article comes out about this bloke who's been done for. And Tony Roberts shared it saying, we banned this bloke from our open mics, he's a fucking... and all this sort of stuff. And I was like, every so often, I find myself thinking about how close I was.
Do you know the name?
No, I genuinely can't remember. I can't remember what the name is.
It's going to have to be a discussion for after the episode then.
Yeah, I'm going to have to try and find it because I'm really intrigued. But this actually, it's quite a good way, not a good way to end the episode, but it's quite a good lesson for those interested in getting into the music industry that you can learn, is that unfortunately, no matter how much I say it, not everyone's out to look after you.
No. And often you are someone's just business prospect.
Yeah.
And I think that's the mistake, and there are a lot of positives that came out from Road Trip when they were a boy group and the stuff they did. I'm sure they
and they were very successful for their time.
They did a lot of covers. I wouldn't have done that many.
Yeah, valid
personally, because it's a lot of just other people's work. But
yeah,
I'm sure they had a lot of fun.
Yeah,
which is a good strong sentiment of making music is having fun.
Yeah, exactly that.
But when I look back at my decision, it is one of those things, and you think, it was a split decision, but and it is incredibly cliche.
Yeah,
but you have to follow what you think is right, and I think I followed my heart in that situation.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd experienced a lot of false promises already by that age.
Yeah,
I'd heard a lot of, I can make you this, I can make you famous,
I can make you a star, all that sort, all
already
the usual stuff. Yeah.
So I think at that point, if I did ever hear it again, I actually was kind of partially ready to say, oh no, I want to give it a go myself. And I think even at that age, I was by the time that Road Trip came knocking, I was actually
Yeah.
almost 17, 18. I think it was 17, 18.
Yes,
and I
you
say,
were.
I say that like that's mature because it was like by the time Blair had first ever contacted me, I was 14.
Yeah.
So 3 years had passed.
Yeah.
And I'm not dumb. I was already thinking like, well, if he wanted me within
That
3
badly,
years,
he
it would have happened
would've-
3 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, why wasn't I in Harvey's situation?
But yeah, not everyone's out to look out for you, and not everyone's out to make you successful for your benefit. It's actually for their financial benefit or for their clout benefit, whatever else. And I think it's really important for you to remember that if you want to be successful, you can do it yourself, and you have to
Yeah.
believe in yourself enough to go for it yourself and actually say no. Like, me and you have both been in situations where, like, BGT or The Voice or someone has tried to scout us, and we... You're right there.
I feel myself choking.
We've actually had enough confidence and enough going for us by ourselves to actually turn around and go, you know what, actually no, we don't need you. We're already. I remember The Voice tried to scout me at an open mic, and I went, I'm already touring, I don't need anything else. And that felt really good to actually turn around and say that,
Yeah.
and see the look on the woman's face when I said it as well.
Yeah. Should we end the podcast there?
Yeah, because that's not short and sweet with lots of big things talked about. So I think we will end it there. Thank you very much for tuning in. Apologies for the interruption that somehow we're going to cut out. I don't know.
We are going to cut it out.
Okay, he's determined to cut it out. Until next time, Harvey.
Hard day.